It's another day, left jab, right jab, this is MMA. Mixed martial arts, quick body parts, undefeated when I pick 'em. Who the champ, who the victim, looking in my crystal ball, I predict the winner. Never stop fighting, if you lose, keep your chin up. Know how the game go, I'm a small fella. Welcome to the show, this the MMA fortune teller.
The MMA fortune teller.
The teller.
I'm over here talking to myself. I apologize, guys. For some reason, whenever I've been starting the show off, it's been putting me on mute. I guess because I had the video going or whatnot. But you guys can hear me now, right? Think we should be good, man. I was saying, man, this weekend we got an excellent card. At least the main event is going to be special. So I wanted to do a little post weigh-in show. I wanted to talk a little bit more about this card. Obviously, I had the prediction video out to you guys earlier in the week, but I want to talk some more about this card. I was not able to do MMA live discussion last night, and I was a little disappointed because if I was able to pull the show off, I was going to have Chris Dawkins on the show, who's fighting this weekend, as a lot of you guys already know. And but unfortunately, I mean, Chris was really cool about everything. He was keeping me in the loop throughout the day or throughout the last 2 days, and he said he was going to try to get on the show, but obviously he's got a lot of stuff going on. He's over in Abu Dhabi. You know, he had the weigh-ins. You know, he had a lot of media and whatnot going on, and they've been dragging him around. So I'll probably have him on this upcoming Thursday after he is victorious this weekend. So, you know, big shout out to Chris Dawkins. But so I wanted to catch up with you guys now. And I feel like there's a lot of things that we could talk about in the MMA world besides catching up on this card. But I do want to start off with talking about this card some more. And, you know, after watching the weigh-ins, I'm sure all you guys already saw the weigh-ins. And I'm curious who you guys thought looked good in the weigh-ins and whatnot. Of course, we had the Joker back out there. You know, he better pull off a victory this time. You know, that's the second time he put the Joker face on. Obviously, Marcus Perez was not victorious the first time he did it. So he better hope that he pulls off the victory here. Oh, we got to talk, Dio. Tyler Glass now. We're going to talk some baseball here in a minute. So I said I'm going to be giving away a big play. I said it over on Instagram. I'm going to be giving a free play to you guys. If you guys stay with me for a little bit, I'll get that play out to you guys within the next 10 minutes. And it's a major play that I'm backing with my own money. You know, a lot of my own money is going into this play. So, you know, you guys can take that with a grain of salt, but, you know, it's not an MMA play. I'm sure some of you guys don't want nothing to do with it, but if you guys are into other major sports, stick with me for a second. I'll give that play to you guys. So, yeah, what'd you guys think of the weigh-ins overall? I mean, I thought everyone looked pretty good. And particularly, I thought Chris Dawkins looked very good. I thought he looked very trim in that fight there. I was pretty impressed with the way he looked. And I mean, Rodrigo Nascimento's definitely looks to be a little bit of the bigger man, but you know, their weight's not far apart. So we'll definitely have to see how that fight takes place. Stephanie Egger, she looked big, man. She looked a lot bigger than Tracy Cortez in there. But again, I said it. I mean, I think Cortez is going to be the tougher chick, and I'd say she's going to be the more scrappy fighter, man. You know. Yeah, Tracy Cortez looked good as well. Looked a little bit smaller, but she's, you know, size ain't nothing, man. Egger is a tall judo practitioner. I think that Cortez is going to be in her face, and Cortez should handle business there. Yeah, the Kelly fight, man. The Kelly fight. Kelly looked to be the much bigger fighter, which was something that we talked about in the prediction video. We were already expecting that, Tony Kelly, fighting up in a weight division over Ali Al-Kassi. I'm really, really curious to see how that fight plays out, because I kind of do expect Tony Kelly to go in there and handle business. But he showed a few holes in his game in his last fight, and you got to kind of wonder, was it just that Kai Kamaka is a very talented fighter, or does Tony Kelly have some real holes that Ali might be able to exploit? So Tony Kelly's the type of guy, you see he throws some nice strikes together, man. He's throwing some nice elbows, but he sits so upright. Next thing you know, someone's in on his hips, they're taking him down. And I don't know if I could back a guy like that, but he's coming in with the size. He wasn't playing games at the weigh-in either, man. He looked like he was like he's there for business. So Bruno Silva, man, faced off against Tiger Ulanbekov, and Silva looked to be a nice short and stout fighter, but Tiger is a guy that has all the hype, so he's expected to go in there and handle business. KB Bular taking on Tom Breeze. If you guys didn't realize how big KB Bular is, now you guys definitely do. I talked about that as well. Because Tom Breeze is a guy that usually goes in there and towers upon his opponents, and that was not the case, man. KB Bular is a very big man. So now this was a fight that I was just talking about on my Instagram live video. Excuse me, let me grab that real quick. The Topuria fight. Take someone to the ground. It's a good night. Lights out. Speedo Mito. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was watching some fight footage on him throughout the week and whatnot, and he definitely throws some nice ground and pound. He also set up a nice submission. I saw, working his ground and pound, pulling off a sub on the mat, sitting in the guard, kind of working the submission. Definitely, he looks talented. The main thing that I was talking about in regards to him that was really impressive to me is the way that he works the body. So I'm really torn on that fight, because you guys already know that I'm very high on his opponent, and I've made money on him in the past. But I don't know, man. Topuria looks really good. I like Yusuf Zalal a lot, but Topuria, the way he whips the body shots, I think that he may be able to give Yusuf some trouble in there. But Yusuf is so young, man. This guy might go out there and just completely shock us. Once again, the way that he's evolving with his game and whatnot, because he shows to have a lot of potential. This is not a beer, by the way. This is it's a vodka iced tea soda water. It's a little concoction I mixed up. Yeah, Speedo Mito saying, I think that Zalal's hype train gets derailed. I hear you there. I'll tell you guys this much, man. I was contemplating making a play on Zalal, because you guys know I'm very high on him. I will let you guys know that I have no action on that fight. I'll let you guys know that, because I am high on Zalal. But I think that we're based on where the line is. I think that Zalal. I don't know if there's real value on him at that line. I think that he's going to have his hands full. I do think that he still wins that fight, though. I think that he probably edges that fight. I think that he'll be a little bit quicker on the feet. I think he'll be a little bit more fluid with his overall game. But again, man, Topuria throws nasty body shots. He looks strong. He has a lot of power in his hands. So I'm scared to put money on KB. Bree should dominate if he doesn't have another panic attacks. Yeah, that's the thing, man. If he doesn't, and that's a big if. And I don't know. I don't even know if it's just strictly if he has a panic attack. It's kind of like he has mental lapses in there at points in time. I know Brendan Allen's the real deal and has some very, very serious grappling abilities, but the way that he finished Breeze and how quickly he did it and whatnot, Tom Breeze should have put up more of a fight. It seems like he was kind of like one of those sheep that faint. Those fainting sheep. You run up to them and you scream at them and they freeze up and they tip over. And again, that does kind of correlate to the panic attacks. The mental stability, because Tom Breeze is a very talented fighter when he's just chilling doing his thing. And it's going to be an interesting fight. It's another fight. I can't wait to see how that fight plays out. Topuria, the dog of the night. People like that. Marlon versus Sandy. I'm on Marlon Moraes. I'm definitely taking Marlon. You guys know in the prediction video, I did say that I wanted a little bit more time to see how the week took place, but I'm on Marlon for sure, straight up. I like Marlon right here. And in fact, I think that Marlon should be slightly should be the favorite slightly. I think that Marlon maybe should be a -125, -135. So I do feel the line was even a little off. Corey Sandhagen, he showed in his last fight that he does have, some major red flags. You got to be careful with him if you're putting money on him. I know Aljamain Sterling's the real deal, but to allow him to go out there and do what he did to Corey, that's a red flag right there, man. He speaking of like what we were talking about with Tom Breeze having a mental lapse, it was like he froze up, man. And I get it when someone starts taking your back and they're on you. I get it. It's not that easy to get out of that situation. But the way that he froze up and just allowed that to all play out, let's not forget Marlon Moraes can grapple as well. I know his bread and butter is with his striking. We've seen him pull off some nasty submissions before, so don't forget about that. He definitely has grappling and submission skills. So I don't know. Maybe the fight game's crazy. Maybe we see Marlon pull off a sub on Corey Sandhagen. But at the end of the day, I see that fight being more of a striking affair, and I like Marlon with the quick twitch, powerful leg kicks and the body kicks. Man, I like him in the striking department against Corey. Corey's smooth and he's rangy, but I think that Marlon Moraes is just he's a very, very skilled fighter. He's coming off that very, very close victory against Jose Aldo. We all know that Aldo is still the real deal. At least I really believe that, man. I think Aldo is very much still on his game. So that was a big win, even though it was very close. And then, of course, when the Henry Cejudo fight, hopefully Marlon learned from that fight. You got to think about that too. There's probably things that he learned in from that fight. Some mistakes that he made that put himself in that position. He kind of seems like he gassed out or whatever you want to call it. I mean, he definitely didn't perform at the same level in the second round and whatnot compared to the first round. But Marlon Moraes is championship quality in my opinion. So I'm rolling with Marlon Moraes. Ulanbekov and Barbosa parlay. Easy money. I expect that they both should win that fight. They both should win their fights. As far as where the line is on both of them, I'm not going to say that I'm crazy about the line on either of them. So, I'll be quite honest with you. That's not a play that I would necessarily be targeting. But at the end of the day, that's a fight. Those are two fights that both those guys should win. But again, the line is off to me. Makwan Americani is a guy that shows time and time again that, he can overachieve at times. He gets very comfortable in there. 16-4 as a professional, and he has crazy submission skills. He can wrap up nasty subs from weird angles, and he could strike as well. He's very comfortable in there. He kind of makes it like a sparring match. So I could expect Edson Barbosa to go in there and put a clinic on Makwan. But let's not forget, man, we've seen Barbosa get starched. We have seen that. So, and particularly, let's not forget about the Justin Gaethje knockout that happened not too long ago. I get it. I know Justin Gaethje is a whole different animal, but I'm just saying that was a fight where he kind of froze up and he got cornered against the cage. I wouldn't be surprised if Makwan landed on him. But overall, I think Barbosa should really hurt him on the feet and should dominate the majority of that fight. Let's see what else we got here. Daniel San brings up a good point. Live at round 3, that's a great point. That's exactly what you want to look for as far as when you're trying to target certain types of live bets. That's a fight right there. Once that fight hits the later rounds, if you do see Marlon starting to slow down a little bit, you could expect Corey to start to take over those later rounds. But going into round 3, say maybe Marlon's up 2 rounds. That's a fight you want to look into. I agree with you there, Daniel. Joaquin Buckley is a serious dog. Impa is still green. Yeah, I think that's another fight where I think that the line is a little off. I think you have to be careful with this card. I think that there's a lot of kind of high lines. And it's kind of weird because I understand, like, when I look at each of these fights and I see these guys right in that minus 250 range, I'm like, yeah, they should definitely win those fights. But is that line accurate? I mean, there's no way all these guys are going to go in there and win. There's going to be some upsets. So, which one of these fights is going to be the upset? I wouldn't be surprised if we see 2 to 3 dogs, show up and handle business. That's kind of even what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a good 2 to 3 dogs to handle business. I do not think this is going to be the type of card where the favorites just clean house in there. So be careful, man. Joaquin Buckley, as far as him being the guy to win as an underdog, not sure if I really see it. I'm kind of on Impa. I do think the line's a little high in him, but Impa is a guy that doesn't have the best striking defense. He does eat a lot of shots, and Buckley throws heat, but Buckley is pretty inaccurate with his punches. When you watch him on tape, man, there's a lot of swings and misses. I will say this, though, even though he swings and misses a lot, I'll give him props on his cardio because, especially in that Kevin Holland fight, I thought he was going to completely gas out in that fight, the way he was throwing. He went nonstop, man, in that fight. So Buckley does carry a gas tank in there, so he does throw heat. I don't know, man. I think Impa might have the edge as far as the grappling goes. I could see Impa kind of, eventually working himself in the clinch, maybe getting a takedown, like we saw from him on the Dana White's Contender Series fight, where he showed that he was pretty crafty on the ground. I think he's the better overall fighter that has more potential. Impa is a scrub. You think so, huh? It's kind of hard for me to agree with you on that because I made some big money on him against Maki Patola. So Impa's still undefeated. I mean, I'm not expecting Impa to be a future champion or anything like that. Not in the least bit. I'm not saying that at all. But I do think that this is the type of guy that could be hanging around the UFC for quite some time. And I don't think he's a one-trick pony. I think he's a very well-rounded fighter. And I do like having money back in a guy that's very well-rounded, that could strike with you, that could eat a shot, and that could get the fight down to the mat and hurt you down there as well. Buckley, I think Buckley is more of a brawler. I think Buckley, he's in there to put on an entertaining fight and throw some hands. A couple things I want to talk about. And if you guys have any more questions about these fights, man, just throw them in. We'll talk more about any fight in particularly that you guys want to talk about. I want to talk about Conor McGregor, the potential fight of Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. I want to know, do you guys even believe that's really going to happen? You guys think that this is a bluff on Conor's part to stay relevant in the fight game? Because you guys got to think about this for a second, man. Conor has constantly put out there that he's retired from the fight game. And at this point in time, it's definitely clear the only reason why he's even saying that, he's just trying to keep his name relevant in the game, because I think he's retired now 3 or 4 times. And, if he is doing that, I think it's pretty messed up, because he's talking about how he's going to donate $500,000 to Dustin Poirier's charity and whatnot. So I think that would be kind of messed up if he's playing games in that sense. And he says he wants to fight by the end of the year. I don't understand why he would want to take that fight. I mean, I get it. Conor's the type of guy, man, that's always in there, man, to handle business. But at the end of the day, man, Dustin Poirier is a very, very, very tough fighter, man. And Poirier has got a lot better since the last fight. So the thing is, man, you put yourself at risk when you go in there. Excuse me, guys. I was just getting a little distracted there for a second. But the thing is, what Conor McGregor in the first fight, it was a completely different time in both of their careers. Dustin Poirier was cutting weight down to 145 and got clipped early. Dustin Poirier has since completely sharpened up his skill set, man. You see how he performs in the later rounds, whereas Conor McGregor has shown that he fades in the later rounds. So I don't see why Conor McGregor would want to take that fight. He already has that victory in his pocket. I think that he should just leave that as is and take on a guy like Tony Ferguson or Michael Chandler. At the end of the day, if you're trying to prove that you're one of the greatest fighters of all time, stack up top level names, top level opponents. I think it's a horrible decision by him if he really does it. And but I think he might just be playing games in there. I also understand that if he does want a eventual rematch at the title, I guess, a victory over Dustin Poirier does carry a lot of weight, because, DP is right at the top of the game right now. But yeah, Niko G signing in late. I got you, Nico. I haven't announced it. I'm going to announce it to you guys real quick. Everyone that's listening, if you guys could, man, I got 51 of you guys in here right now. Can you guys please like this video for me, man? It really does help me out. And I'm going to give you guys a free play, man. This is a play that I'm putting a lot of money up, for myself here. I'm taking the Yankees tonight, man. Taking the Yankees money line. Garrett Cole's on the mound, and I think that they just win this game straight up. That's how I feel about it. Garrett Cole and Tampa Bay's pitcher, this is the first time they've ever taken a short rest to pitch, in the playoffs and whatnot. And I think Garrett Cole's the more professional dude. I think he's the more, just a more talented pitcher. I think the Yankees bats are more serious. Now these guys, these lineups have seen both of these pitchers, just within days. A lot of time that correlates to the bats really stepping up when they see a pitcher again for the second time in such a quick span. They have more of the leg up on the pitcher, and I think the Yankees bats are more serious, and I think that we could see some major runs come in. So that's my free play to you guys. I would call it a 7-unit play on the Yankees money line, and you should be able to get them right around -153 or wherever you guys can get them, and that's a free play for all you guys. So back to the MMA talk. I appreciate all you guys, man, liking the video. But yeah, man, back to McGregor and DP. I don't know if that fight's really going to happen. If it does, I think that it's a mistake on Conor's part. I probably will still edge Conor to win that fight based on the way it played out the first time and Conor's psyche. And I think people sleep on Conor at times. They see him lose to a guy like Khabib, and they underestimate him, not understanding how he actually performed against Khabib, because it was quite impressive, if you ask me, compared to how some of these other guys fight him. But DP, if it goes to the later rounds, it could be a tough night for Conor, and I hope he does not take that match. So not sure how you guys all feel about that. Conor McGregor will never fight Tony Ferguson. He doesn't want that smoke. Ferguson been calling him out for years. If Conor really wanted that, he would have took it years ago. He wants no part of it. Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with you on that, but at the same time, Dustin Poirier is a way more challenging fight for Conor, in my opinion, than Tony Ferguson. And in fact, I think Tony Ferguson may be I think Conor McGregor might be a bad matchup for Tony Ferguson at this point in time. Tony Ferguson needs to work on his striking defense, his boxing defense. I really don't think that it's I don't think it's a good matchup for Tony. I think Tony Ferguson gets knocked out in that fight. I think that Conor lands on him. And I think DP, on the other hand, when it goes to the later rounds, I think DP has crisper boxing and he could survive the onslaught. And I think he can actually damage Conor in the late rounds. So, Chase Sherman, what's my boy Felipe? I would love to see that fight, man. A lot of you guys were poking fun at my boy Felipe when I said he was going to be one of my new favorite fighters. You guys were all talking crap about him, man. He also showed, man. He showed that he's the real deal, man, or at least that he has some credible boxing. So to beat Tampa Bay, to beat Yankees 2-3 times with Tyler and Cole starting, it's a pick'em game in my eyes. Good luck. Yeah, DOX. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, MMA Fortune Teller _ after the game, and we'll see how this game plays out. Yankees are going to handle business, I'm telling you. I like Sherman, man. I like Chase Sherman a lot. I think that would be a fun fight, man. How about this, man? Did you guys hear about Dan Hardy once again flirting with coming back to the octagon? He says he wants a rematch with Carlos Condit. I'm curious what your guys' perspective is on that whole situation. If you ask me, I think it's a smart move for Dan Hardy. Being a fighter, man, like being in these guys' mind, think about it. Dan Hardy got finished by Carlos Condit in a nasty way. If you guys remember that knockout way back in the day, I think it was 2011. The way he got knocked out, fighters never forget that stuff. And if you get an opportunity to get a rematch against a guy that you got knocked out by, especially early in the fight, we're not talking about a fight where you just got mauled. If you notice, guys that get mauled, they don't really want those rematches for the most part. But if they get caught early, they really, really want those rematches. And a lot of times they don't get those rematches. And if you have a possibility to get that rematch, jump all over that. So I understand it 100%. And I think it makes perfect sense where they're at in their careers. I wouldn't put too much stock into Carlos Condit's recent victory over Court McGee. I think I picked Carlos Condit to win the fight. I was really happy for him. But at the end of the day, I don't want to see Carlos Condit get thrown in there with a Khamzat or any of those types of guys in the top of the division there. But Dan Hardy would be a perfect match. Both those guys are a little bit up there in age, and I think it would be a good fight. And Dan Hardy does have a new girlfriend, and Veronica Macedo. Yeah, man. So he's living the life, but I think he should come back for that fight. I think that would be a fight they can throw in a main card. I think people would love to see that fight. I would throw that in as a co-main event, right there in the main card, man, on a legit card. So Hardy should just stay retired. I enjoy his fight breakdowns and insight on the Reptile channel. Yeah, man, he's a G as far as all that goes. Dan Hardy is one of the most knowledgeable guys in the game. Alex, I 100% agree with you. But let's say this. If he was to come back, I'm not talking about a full-time comeback. I'm talking about let him come back and get one more victory and then go back to what he's doing. I think think about this, man. It would give him a lot of hype for everything that he's doing because, Alex, as you point out, he has one of the best channels and all that stuff in the game, and he's one of the best at breaking down all that type of stuff. I mean, a lot of people, of course, they do know about what he's doing, but get a little bit of notoriety about it too. You know what I mean? Go out there, get a knockout, and then maybe even talk about what you're doing. And of course, it's just a fight game. When you come off a big win, everyone's looking at you, all eyes on you. People will pay a little bit more attention to that type of stuff, and then you walk out the game again with Veronica Macedo, and you still have her doing her thing. I don't know, just a thought. I would love to see him come back. I think he had some type of heart issue, but I think that's all been resolved. To my knowledge, I see him on his Instagram constantly working on the bags. I think he's still hungry to get in a good fight. And remember, man, he retired at a very early age with that whole situation, man. He had a lot more fight left in him. This wasn't a guy that was an old hag, man, hanging up the gloves. So I'm sure, he has something left in his heart. Now, I'm a big fan of Dan Hardy, man. I know a lot of people want to see Dan Hardy versus, what's his name? Herb Dean. I don't know if that's the fight Herb wants. And I don't know if you guys ever seen, man. Herb actually, I think he fought as a pro. You could pull it up on YouTube, see a couple of his fights. Wonder why everyone is betting against Miss Tracy Cortez. Well, we'll take a look at the line real quick. I would say as of right now, yeah, they are big time. I mean, it started off as a minus 305. Now it's a minus 175. But in the last couple of days, the line movement has been, it's dropping and still dropping. Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's the size. I think it's the fact that people have been realizing that, they've been realizing that her opponent has some serious judo skills. I believe she actually has a victory over Ronda Rousey in the judo department. Over there in the judo field. So I think people are starting to put a little bit of stock into that, Stephanie Egger. And I mean, I get it. I mean, like I said, man, in my prediction video, I'm a big fan of judo. I think it's an underrated skill and an underrated discipline. But I think Tracy Cortez is the real deal. I think she's a tough chick. And I think overall she should win that fight. But people are trying to snipe some good odds. They're trying to capitalize, and I get it. Cortez is a grinder. She doesn't have the cleanest striking in the game. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. And what else we got going on in the fight world? I'm sure a lot of you guys also heard, man, RDA had to pull out from UFC 254. So that is a little bit of a disappointment. I was kind of excited to see that fight against Islam Makhachev. I don't know who Islam's going to be taking on now. I haven't heard anything as of recently. I don't know if you guys know. I heard some rumors about Michael Chandler hopping up in there. I would love to see that. Also Michael Chandler was talking a little bit of crap to Tony, saying Tony's ducking him too. So that's a fight that I don't think Tony wants. I do not think that Tony wants that fight. I'm letting you guys know right now. I think Michael Chandler puts him out. Michael Chandler, they call him Iron Mike for a reason, man. He throws heat. And I think, again, Tony Ferguson is a good stylistic matchup against the right guys. Chandler ain't going to gas out like that. And, Tony Ferguson has to be matched up against the right guys, in my opinion, when you're talking about those top four guys. I don't know. I want to see him against Khabib, but I could imagine Dan Hardy was a cockney in England once upon a time. Yeah, Islam versus Chandler. I think that'd be a good fight there. I would edge Chandler to win that fight. I think that Michael Chandler would have a little bit of the more cleaner boxing. Islam obviously is a serious grappler, but Michael Chandler is legit as well with the grappling. So I would not expect Islam just to mop him and dominate him. I would hope it would be a 5-round type of fight. And I think eventually in that fight, they would have to have some exchanges between the two of them. There would have to be some real fighting going down in a 25-minute fight. And I'll take Michael Chandler there. I think a lot of people that don't know about Mike Chandler, that have been watching Bellator for the last decade, you guys are all going to learn what Michael Chandler is about. I do know that, I know that a lot of you guys know Chandler was knocked out recently against one of the Pitbull brothers, but I think it was Patricky, I believe. I think it was Patricio. I forget which one it was, but it was the more legit brother, in my opinion, the better fighter. And that guy, both those guys are serious, especially the guy that knocked him out. So, don't look into that too much. And that was a fight where Michael Chandler brings it. He walks forward and he got caught. So it is what it is. I mean, that happens to the best of them. So Tony K. Gaethje saved by the bell. Yeah, I guess so. Here we go. And Cloud. Chandler is overrated. I think he gets smoked in the UFC. Okay. Yeah, what's Patricio, right? Okay. Yeah. So, and Cloud, man, I hope you stay with me over here at the channel, man, throughout the years, and we could continue that conversation, because I think that you'll beg to differ. I'm not saying that he's going to go in there and he's going to take out Justin Gaethje and Khabib and Conor, but listen, Michael Chandler has a lot of fight left in him. This guy is going to be stringing off victories in the UFC one way or another. Whether they throw him to the fire right from the get-go and he's fighting top 5 guys, even if he loses those fights, he's going to eventually, drop back down throughout the division. He's going to start starching guys in the top 10. So, that I'm going to pull some up real quick. I'm going to pull up the rankings. I'll pull these up for you too real quick, because let me ask you, N Cloud, who do you think's who's gonna smoke him in the lightweight division? Let's talk for a second, and if you're still here in the comments, comment below, because I'm gonna pull up the top 10 real quick. Let's see, how's that for you guys? So you got the lightweight division there on the left, if you guys can see that. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger for you guys. If you could still see it. Maybe it's a bit. Hold on one second, guys. So let me ask you, is he still there? We probably lost him. And Cloud, you still there, brother? You might have lost him. If anybody wants to help and Cloud out, who's gonna be smoking Michael Chandler in the top 10 of the UFC? Let's go down to the number 9. You guys see that number 9 right there, right? You think Ali Quintas is going to smoke Michael Chandler? You think Paul Felder at number 7 is going to smoke Michael Chandler? Oh, no. I know you didn't say Gillespie. If you can't listen, this is why you can't say Gillespie, bro. Gregor Gillespie, first off, his bread and butter is his wrestling. Gregor Gillespie is a beast with his wrestling and his gas tank and the pace that he pushes. That stylistically is not going to work against Michael Chandler. I don't care what you say, man. Michael Chandler can grapple with the best of them and can push a pace with the best of them. You see the videos of him and Kamaru going round after round on the mats left and right. Gillespie is not going to smother him. And I'm talking about 25 minutes of fighting too. Gillespie is going to have to throw hands with Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler would sleep Gillespie. You saw what Kevin Lee did to him. What a joke that was. And I was big on Gillespie up until that fight too, man. I think that Gillespie striking is very, very much average or below average within the division. And Michael Chandler is very above average. And I think Chandler would smoke him. Now the prediction on Islam, I'm not going to say you're wrong on that. Islam's a beast too, man. And I think Islam would be the bigger fighter in there. He'd be the bigger guy. So if he was, able to implement that grappling type of style and wear on Chandler, hold him against the cage, that's something that maybe could happen. But as far as if they really started to engage in a fight and they start throwing down, Chandler's going to start teeing off. But let's stay tuned with that. We'll see how that all plays out. All right, I know you guys want to talk some more about this fight card taking place Saturday, so we'll go back over there for a minute. 1 second. And again, if there's any fights you guys want to talk about in particularly, let me know what fight you guys want to talk about. Yeah, I'm on Dawkins. I'm on Dawkins there, man. I have no problem with the weight drop. Like I said, man, he looked nice and light and lean, and I think that's good, man. I think he needed to lose some fat off. First off, did you see him in his last fight? He was carrying a lot of extra weight that he really didn't need to carry. I've been talking to Dawkins, man. Dawkins hit me up. We've been talking on Instagram often. I know he was out in Las Vegas before he flew out to Abu Dhabi. And I know the Dawkins brothers are really, really taking the game serious right now because they know both of them, they have some hype behind them right now. They're both coming off nice performances. I know Kyle lost his fight, but still, people that know what they're watching know that Kyle Dawkins is the real deal. So you stay tuned to see how that plays out. And Chris is the real deal too. And again, Chris Dawkins, people are all talking about that. One of the routes of him losing this fight is the BJJ and the grappling department. And Nascimento, is definitely a good grappler. But Dawkins is a guy that started off with BJJ. He's a guy that started off grappling. So even though you saw what kind of striking he has in his last fight, expect him to be able to nullify Nascimento's BJJ as well. I think so. And then it's going to be a striking fight, man. It's going to be a flip of the coin. Exactly. Rondon knows the deal. Shout out to Rondon. Dawkins and his brother jiu-jitsu, so underrated. Exactly. Think about how nasty Kyle Dawkins is on the mat. Meanwhile, his brother was training BJJ way before him. We just haven't really seen his BJJ. There's not too much of it on tape. If you're really going pry, you could try to find a couple of things, but there's not a lot of it on tape. I think that he will hold his own. This isn't a guy that's going to be going out there. Listen, this isn't Dontel Mays, okay? This ain't Dontel Mays. Dontel Mays is a guy that just started training MMA, relatively recently. And meanwhile, the guy, he throws bombs. He's not a polished grappler. Come on, man. Dontel Mays, the Dawkins brothers are professional, man. This guy, they're on their stuff, man. They're on their P's and Q's. That's what I'm talking about, Ron. Keller versus Teller. Set it up, Dana. Let them know. Everyone should go on Kelleher's Instagram right now, all 60 of you guys, and everyone should say that Teller's going to put you out. Let them know. Everyone should have 60 comments. Everyone, tag me in there right now. Anyone that has an Instagram, somebody set that off. Everyone tag me. The Teller's coming for you. The Teller's coming. Let them know. Let Kelleher know. How does Chris Dawkins be a police officer and fight at the same time? That's insane. I mean, we see Stipe Miocic, right? Stipe is the heavyweight champion of the world, the best heavyweight of all time, in my opinion. And he still does his thing, man, with the volunteer firefighting. Some of these guys have crazy work ethics, man. They really push it. And it works for some of these guys. Appreciate it. I'm on him. I played DK and missed out on 31K playing Reyes instead of Jan. Come on, man. I told you guys to take Jan. I try to tell everybody. Dawkins round 1 KO, says Randy. I would love to see that. Keep an eye on Dawkins' boxing, man. It's very accurate. Very, very accurate, man. He's very calm in there. And again, man, it's a dangerous fight for him because, Nascimento is legit as well. 8-0, training over at American Top Team. I mean, the guy's legit. I'm not trying to take too much away from him. I wasn't completely sold on him as far as the striking goes. Rodrigo Nascimento. I mean, if you guys watch the tape of him in his last 2 fights, if you guys think that you're really impressed with what you guys seen on the feet, let me know. I mean, I wasn't. I was not that impressed. I was impressed with his toughness and the pace that he pushes. He continuously comes forward and he knows how to exploit certain holes in his opponent's game. But I don't know if Chris Dawkins really has a major hole that's glaring that's there for him. So this is going to be a fight. This is going to be a fight. And if you're getting Nascimento at the line that he's at, I don't necessarily think that that's a smart play. But that's how I feel about it. Yeah, Jermaine is a cop too. That's right. And how about Jermaine Durandamy? Looked amazing in her last fight. Jose, yeah, I'm salty, man. I'm super salty. Nah, man, it's all fun, It's all for shits and giggles, man. But Kelleher is a funny dude, and We'll have our day, man. I'm gonna catch him up in the guillotine. I'm gonna bump into him at one of the shows and show him how to pull off a real guillotine. Anyone touching Gorman versus Lartney boxing seems Lartney is a live dog. So Chatify talking some boxing talk here, man. If anybody's on the boxing lines, speak some knowledge on that. I can't say I have too much insight on that matchup there. I don't know about that, man. There we go. Mystic Sosa took Dawkins to win TKO or K1 round 1. Those are some serious odds there, man. And they're big boys, and they throw a heat right there, both these guys. So you never know. You never know. Will Salinas, the Zalal fight, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Yusuf Zalal is a guy that I'm very high on him. Very, very high on him. I think he's very talented. He's young. I think we're going to see him, be more polished every time he steps in there. But his opponent is the real deal. I do believe that. Or at least he has some potential to be the real deal. We'll see how he performs on the big show. But to Poirier, this guy, I like the way he uses his hands. He works the body. He looked pretty impressive with his submission skills on the mat as well. Good top control when he got on top of his opponents. I think that he shows that he has some real skills, and he physically looks very, very fit, very strong. So Yusuf Zalal, even though Yusuf looked good in that last fight, for the majority of that fight, he almost finished it. If you want to talk about the Peter Barrett fight, I'm not really that high on Peter Barrett, which is why I faded Peter Barrett. I had a parlay of Yusuf in that fight right there, that hit. But Yusuf was smooth. He could throw flying knees. He's very fluid with his movement. But I think that Poirier he shows that he has some real potential. Yusuf Zalal in that fight against Peter Barrett, he did kind of slow down at points in times. I think that he could have ran away with that fight, and all of a sudden that fight ended up being a little bit not close, but Peter had some moments in that fight that he should have never had. So that was a little strange to me. But again, Yusuf's young, and I like Yusuf. So, I'm torn on that fight, man. I like Yusuf, though. I'm picking Yusuf to win the fight. But, minus 185, maybe that line's a little high. What else we got, boys? The Killer Bee blew off the teller. Down with it. Is that his nickname, the Killer Bee? I thought the Killer Bee was Ben Saunders. But look, it's not even about that, bro. If you guys really want to know the deal with that dude Kelleher, it's not even – I never really was a big fan of his from the beginning. Just something about the way he carries himself. He's like sniffling his nose and shit. He looks like a little goblin. He's all like cocky. He's always sniffling his nose. I'm like, all right. I asked him if he wanted to be on my show, whatever. He's like, yeah, bro, for sure, this and that. And then like he just out of nowhere, I think maybe there was something that happened, but all of a sudden he's like, yeah, I'm going to come on your show, whatever. And he just literally never responded as I was setting shit up. He just kind of just never responded. He kind of left everything as seen. I'm like, yo, what's up? And I was like kind of pressing him too. I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? What's up? Or you said you want to come on. Why are you sitting, whatever. And he just seen again and he still didn't say anything. So I was like, all right. I've had so many fighters that said they were going to come on my show that couldn't make it or respectfully declined. And, bro, more power to all of them, man. Nothing but respect to all those guys. I mean, none of those guys owe me anything. If you guys seen just the DMs and the conversation of how the conversation transpired, you guys would 100% get with what I'm saying or why I feel the way that I feel. The dude he's a weird dude, bro. He's always just sitting on his little live. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of the way that he did that to me. So at the end of the day, though, man, for those of you guys that actually know what I'm about, I'm a very lighthearted type of guy. So I don't take anything serious. I just found it to be funny. I wanted to kind of joke about it a little bit. So, and then it ended up being something that stuck around for quite some time. So, but yeah. Kelleher, man. Kelleher, he's coming off that early guillotine victory too, man. Shout out to him for pulling off that sub. But, that guy took that fight on last minute notice and just stuck his neck in for a guillotine. So, I don't know. Obviously, we faded Kelleher in the Cody Stamann fight. We made some money there. Knowles plus 21. What you drinking? I got some vodka, some iced tea with a little bit of soda water. So it's a little bit of a mixture thing going on. My brother Jose. Alcacid looked a little surprised to make weight. Yeah, I guess you could say that. I don't see why though. He should be okay with the weight. I don't think he's had issues in the past. I don't remember. And that's an interesting fight. Both those guys, like I said in the prediction video, both of those guys coming off excellent fights as far as entertainment purposes. Both those guys put on a show. Both of them they're coming off losses and 2 fights that could have went either way, right? So this is a big match for both of them because whoever loses this fight, that's 2 fights in a row they lost in the UFC. And these guys are going to bring it. So that's a good fight right there. That's definitely a good fight. I think Tony should handle business, hopefully. If Tony shows up, he should win that fight. A lot of guys that I've spoken with that train around his neck of the woods, that they say he's been around the game for a long time. He's the real deal. Guys that I've conversated about with Tony, that guy, a lot of people are high upon him around that area. So Tampa Bay Rays value. Yankees are taking it, bro. I'm telling you guys. You guys all can comment on my Instagram, whatever. You can come after me. Yankees are taking it. I'm telling you right now. And that game starts in about 10 minutes, so the show is getting ready to wrap up, man. Let's see. You guys get any last-minute questions? Lakers are lock at the money line, but what kind of line you going to get there, Joey? It's probably really high, no? They got that black jersey. Who do you favor usually in a fight, short, stocky wrestler or a long, lanky striker? Could never answer that question, Kamen. No disrespect, but I could never answer that question, man, because I think that's completely irrelevant. It's strictly based on each fighter in particularly, how they match up against the other fighter. Every fighter is different. I know there's guys that stylistically are similar, but I couldn't put it to you like that, man, because there's some short, stocky wrestlers I would take all day over a long, lanky striker, and then vice versa, the other way around in other matchups. So I think that the Heat get finished tonight. I think that the Lakers probably finished them off from everything that I've been seeing and everything that I've looked into it. But I won't fool you guys for a second. The NBA is not my specialty at all, and I really haven't been even watching too much of it. So don't take my word on that at all. Do not take my word on that. But I do think that the Lakers probably take care of business. They got the bigger guys in there, man. They're the just the more, I don't know how. I mean, the Heat have been very surprising. I mean, they really, this whole entire season, they did their thing. They overachieved, kind of like my Marlins did too. They overachieved. But the Lakers, man, they're built big, man. They got some big bodies. And they're skillful too. So what else we got? My brother Road Doggie. Yo, love the post weigh-in wisdom. Love the show. Hit Dusko GDR home plus 345 last week. Let's get it. That's what I'm talking about. Well, yeah, man, I'm gonna get ready for this Yankee game. Like I said, I got a lot of money on this game tonight. So this is a big one for me over here. So if you guys could, throw some energy towards the Yankees. But you guys know where the real money's at. Saturday night, I got 3 plays locked in. And I got them at great lines. So I feel very good about this weekend. I think this is a good card to make some money. I feel some money coming in on this card. And the fight companion most likely should be going down. You guys know, check me out on Instagram, MMA Fortune Teller _, Twitter, The MMA Teller. I'll keep you guys completely up to date. But the fight companion show should be going down. I feel pretty good about that. We'll be running live for the main card. And can't believe the Marlins lost. They were destined to win. I wish that was the case. Listen, the Marlins overachieved. They actually won a series in the playoffs. They were never supposed to make the playoffs. And they had a lot of young talent. So keep an eye on my Marlins moving forward. And I hope to see all you guys over at my Fight Companion Saturday night. Let's get I'll do the Fight Companion. Like I said, if anything happens where I can't make it, I'll let you guys know. But the Fight Companion should be going down for the main card. I will see you guys there. 3 plays locked in. And what else? What else is there to say before I let you guys go? Please like this video. Follow me on Instagram. Catch me on Twitter. I appreciate all you guys so much, man. Every single one of you guys, man. This was an excellent show, man. We were rolling deep. We almost had, 70 people in here. And I appreciate every single one of you guys. And on that note, I think there's nothing else to do but sign out. Signing out, the Teller.